The single most important decision you make is where you live. Naval Ravikant.
Whether you dropped out to build a company, aspire to do groundbreaking research, or simply aim to achieve your American dream.
Who needs girls when you get paying users?
Where a lot of serendipitous things can happen.
This is the ultimate guide to earning your O1 Extraordinary Ability Visa, a US visa that gives you 3 years to work in the US and a clear pathway to apply for the EB1 green card, which I'm currently in the process of because I have yet to marry an American girl. Being a woman comes with a hefty toll. You're stuck being so beautiful every day. I'm 5'10", have a bed frame, great with kids, make 250K, beat the Ender Dragon. My name is Sijo Wen, a 20-year-old college opt-out, who got my own visa to build in Silicon Valley. Here to tell you everything you need to know to get your O1 visa. It's easier than you think. Let's go, boys. We're in. Across the border. I'm in. We're in. Visa approved.
The world is driven on connections and people, and a lot of crazy things can happen through that.
Dude, this is such a pog moment. I emailed Naval Ravikant and he responded. Guess who just secured $100,000 from Naval Ravikant? Oh my god! God, the ball is around! Yeah!
To qualify for the O1 visa, an individual must have at least 3 of the following qualifications: judging of the work of others like hackathons, critical role in an organization, prizes and awards, membership in organizations that require outstanding achievements, high compensation, features in major media and publications, scholarly articles, and contributions to a field.
It may seem daunting at first, but don't worry. I'm going to show you how you can earn the qualifications, starting from the easiest ones first. I've had dozens and dozens of friends earn the O1 visa through building up the qualifications. Some of them are younger than I am, and you'd be surprised. You probably already qualify, or at least are close to qualifying, to at least one of these qualifications. That's a lot of qualifying that I just said. Each category requires evidence and letters that reputable experts sign to confirm your qualifications. Therefore, relationships drive the world, and school doesn't really teach you this, so I'll have a part in this video that goes through building these relationships. I've also timestamped important parts of the video so that you can browse to where you need. Let's get into this. First off, how do you get into the US? Before you got your O1 visa, you can enter the US on a B1 tourist visa or a B2 business meeting visa. For Canadians, it's easier to obtain. You automatically get one when you're at the border. And for other countries, I think you have to apply for it. The B1 and B2 grants you 183 days of stay every time you enter the US. I do not recommend abusing the tourist visa or immediately re-entering the US after a stay to not get blacklisted. Use your time wisely. Every time you enter is to build your qualifications and earn your future here. Have the immigrant mindset. Don't get distracted with drugs, clubs, partying, girls, and over-socialization before the job is done. There are a few important things not to do and to be aware of. While visiting on a tourist visa, you are not allowed to work under a US employer of record being paid to a US bank account. At the border, never say that you are entering to work, which you aren't, of course. Nor should you work in the US if your employer of record is a US entity. And of course, don't be sus. Don't be sus, no sussy. The border guards typically ask where you are staying and for how long. Do not forfeit more information than you need to. Don't say you're crashing at a friend's place if they don't ask. Just give them the address and shut up. I've had friends who have been blacklisted from the US after they've been found suspicious. The border security is legally allowed to take you into an interrogation room and search through your devices if they think you're a sus. And if you don't let them, they're going to deny you entry to the US and put you on a blacklist. Consult an immigration lawyer. Now that I've scared you a bit, let's dive into the O1 visa process. The premise of the O1 visa is that you argue that you're an expert in a field and are being employed by a US company, either one that you've incorporated yourself or through an employer that is sponsoring your visa. And if you want to start your own company, it's pretty easy to incorporate a company with Stripe Atlas. This means that you need to choose a role and an expertise. And because it's a legal case, you can be quite creative. In my case, I argued that I was an expert in computer technology and consumer social, having a background in AI and a lot of my past endeavors being consumer-oriented. While working remotely from Canada, at AirChat, I built a lot of the AI products like Babelfish and voice-to-image. So my job title was Senior AI Engineer at AirChat, which AirChat provided the offer letter for. Thank you, Naval and Brian Norgard. Even if you don't have a college degree like me, you can still use your own merit and achievements to creatively create a compelling case. Keep in mind, government bureaucrats are reviewing your case, and your lawyer knows how to speak to them.
They're just robots, Morty! It's okay to shoot them, they're robots! They're not robots, Rick! It's a figure of speech, Morty! They're bureaucrats! I don't respect them! Just keep shooting, Morty! You have no idea what prison is like here!
I highly recommend filing with premium processing, which allows your O1 visa case to get a result within 15 calendar days of you submitting it, versus God knows how long. Very worth it for only 2.5K. And if you need an immigration lawyer, I got you! Let me introduce you to the brilliant lawyer who got me my O1 visa, Steve Maggie. Steve Maggie is my boy! He's reliable, responsive, on the ball, all the great traits of a great immigration lawyer. And feel free to shoot him an email, he's pretty responsive. And now, let's get into how you can easily build your O1 qualifications. Let's go. With hackathons becoming widespread at your local college, or the ones happening every weekend in San Francisco because of the AI boom, this is the easiest qualification to get. This works as long as the competition you're judging is related to your field, like hackathons for computer science, peer review for science and research, or large case competitions for business and finance. To back up the legitimacy of the competition, they should have prizes. The more you can prove the prize pool, the better, and the more legit the other judges are, the better. My friend BJ judged Tree Hacks, Stanford's premier hackathon, which got him his O1 visa. I judged Friends and Family at Stanford, as well as an Ethereum ETH Global hackathon. Both of the organizers signed letters confirming the validity of the competition, the prize pools, and the selection criteria for the judges. To find hackathons to judge, you can go to mlh.io or DevPost, or you can go to your local university. Many of these competitions are also remote. And to make the judging happen, I simply reached out to or was introduced to the organizers. Relationships drive the world. And thank you so much David Song, Varun Shenoy, Joyce Yang, and Kartik for helping make this happen. As long as you've done important work at a credentialed organization, this one is easy. There are two key components here: your critical role in an organization and that organization being distinguished. If you're the founder of your own company, it's easy to argue that you are integral to the thriving of your US company in order to employ and create US jobs. And if you want to start your own company, it's pretty easy to incorporate a company with Stripe Atlas. If you were an early employee at a YC startup or have done great research at a lab, this is easy too. To legitimize your company or organization, press is helpful. This is a piece of cake if you're a part of a venture-backed company or working in a lab affiliated with a distinguished institution. This is also why once your company raises a fat round that you do a TechCrunch release. To verify your role, you need someone important from the organization to write a letter confirming your critical role. This could be your co-founder, your board, your past boss, or the CEO. In my case, I drove recruiting at AirChat, hiring majority of the engineers from places like MIT, Airbnb, Twitter, and Waterloo, as well as building some of the AI products like multilingual translation. So my boss, Naval Ravikant, wrote me a letter confirming my critical role within AirChat. Arigato! And also, we're building a world-class team of engineers at AirChat, so if that sounds like you, you should send me an email. We'll sponsor your O1 visa. You might already have national or international awards from your past. These awards could be placing in the Microsoft Imagine Cup, a medal at the IMO, IOI, ICHO, IFO, IBO, IRO, Forbes 30 Under 30, and Forbes 12 Under 12, getting admitted to Y Combinator, MIT 35 Under 35, winning Emergent Ventures, winning the Teal Fellowship, or getting the 100K silver button from YouTube. I'm manifesting. subscribe. Subscribe, please. Please. Keep in mind, any national or internationally recognized prizes relevant to your field and role can be argued to satisfy this qualification. And if you don't have any awards so far and your field is related to computer science, you should go and try and win some hackathons, which are 24 to 72 hour long competitions where you build a technical project, like Hack MIT, Hack the North at Waterloo, MHacks, PenApps. You can find more at mlh.io. And bonus if you win a lot of money and it's affiliated with a prestigious university. If you're a founder, you can argue that raising venture capital is a prize, which a lot of my founder friends have done. In my own case, we argued that raising more than $1 million of venture capital at the age of 18 should be considered a prize. It's all about arguing that the award signals excellence within your field. So winning competitions, grants, awards, major scholarships all count. The reason to win the game is so that you can be free of it. For the young and ambitious, this qualification shouldn't be too hard to get, as there's a lot of distinguished organizations that you can earn your way into. Accelerators like Y Combinator, NEO, Prod, and Pioneer. There are also fellowships like the Teal Fellowship, Emergent Ventures, Z Fellows, and Masterson Foundation. Ideally, these organizations have notable alumni, and the leader of the organization signs a letter confirming you're part of it. Thank you so much, Jeff. You need to show that the people who comprise the organization are experts within your field. In my case, I'm a member of Spearhead, a program by Naval Ravikant and Jeff Fagnan that gives founders their own fund and teaches them how to invest in technology companies. Its less than 100 members include Guillermo of Vercel, Alexander Wang of Scale AI, and Celine of Loyal. Through the program, I have $2 million to invest in exceptional entrepreneurs, so if you think you're one, you should DM me. And remember, raising venture capital can be considered an award. For high salary, you prove that you're being compensated at the top percentile for your role. Ideally, this is top 5 to 10% within your field. To prove this, you typically get an offer letter from the company sponsoring your visa. Now, if you're a startup founder or an early employee, you can argue your equity as part of your total compensation.
High five.
Quote from USCIS, a person's highly valued equity holdings in the startup are of comparable significance. Documentation from the company's 409 valuation or investor financing can help prove the value of your equity. Therefore, you can argue that your illiquid startup stock is worth millions of dollars through the safe investments valuation cap. Oh, I have 1% of a company that raised at $100 million valuation. Borat owns 42% of a company that raised at a $10 million valuation cap. This equity can be factored on top of your salary for total compensation. If your employer really wants you to be in the US, they should be able to go out of their way to comp you enough to qualify. You wouldn't know if you don't ask. Press and media. This is where, from your past work, you garnered press from major publications. I've previously been mentored in The New Yorker, New York Magazine, and Business Insider. This is another reason why immigrant founders get a TechCrunch press release paired with their fundraise. All you need to do is to prove that there's readership for the publication and your name is mentioned explicitly. And also the press should be relevant to your role in the field. The bigger the name, the better. If you went to grad school or have done research and published papers, these all count, especially if your work is published in major publications. And the more citations you have, the better. My friend who got this category has published research within Nature magazine. My uneducated butt did not qualify for this. You can also use non-scholarly articles that you've written to qualify, like a Forbes article on trends within the crypto industry because you're an entrepreneur that runs a crypto company, or Harvard Business Review article on leadership because you're a leadership coach, or an IEEE article on transformer graph neural nets for designing recommendation systems written by an AI expert. Whether you have published important research in your field, built an open source protocol, or are the first to implement a new technique or interface for a technology, this category is for you. There's a lot of nuance to this category, which is why it's hard to get, because you need to prove that your contributions are significant to the field. You need to somehow define its impact. For this qualification, you need a letter from an expert from the field. And you can also argue the IP you developed within an organization that you've worked for. I listed some of the AI projects that I built for AirChat. And I've also previously built an off-ramp to a new blockchain to Ethereum, which I wrote a white paper for. And Brian Norgard, previous chief product officer at Tinder, helped sign a letter confirming my original contribution. To top off your case, you need an expert letter. Expert letters are written by third-party experts to prove sustained acclaim, an important part of the O1 visa. This is to prove that you're legit, and the more legit they are, the better. They should contain an explanation of the writer's achievements, how they know the applicant, and clearly delineate that the applicant is nationally or internationally recognized and has made significant contributions to their field.
For the party, yeah.
Actually, now you're talking about it, maybe we should make it hot.
Oh, that'd be kind of sick.
Thank you, Marco, Mascarro. Ideally, this expert knows you well and can show all the interesting things that you've done. Here's why I'm great at my field. Here's why Sejal is extraordinary at his field. Now here's the part you've been waiting for. How do you go about building and compounding invaluable relationships that would go out of their way to write you letters and get you to the US? Well, you must update them through the highs and the lows. People tend only to know how to make a great first impression, but not really compound and develop the relationship. People like Naval Ravikant, Gary Tan, Sam Altman get hundreds and hundreds of messages from young, ambitious people vying for their attention. So what matters isn't that first impression, but showing up consistently, better than before, with a positive second derivative growth rate. And pro tip, when you meet someone cool, take a selfie with them so that you remember and text it to them with your name. I've taken thousands of selfies with different people before I got my O1 while visiting the US. After meeting someone, you want to update them consistently. Every time you send them a message, the percentage chance that they think about you that day goes from near 0% to 100%, increasing your surface area for luck. Their internal model of you becomes better as they see your strengths and shortcomings. Knowing you well, combined with great judgment from decades of experience, produces very invaluable advice. And if you're ambitious, smart, high energy, show great character, and continue compounding, they will take a liking in you. They see bits and parts of themselves within you. People who have everything derive great joy from helping others, so bring them on that journey with you. And if you discover that a potential mentor, advisor, investor, or peer isn't truly aligned with you, it's a blessing in disguise. It means you can focus your limited time on the people that actually reciprocate. Treat each relationship as if it would exist for decades. Increase your surface area of luck because you have to be lucky to succeed, but luck is in your control. Relationships drive the world and also get you your O1 visa letter. I would often spend hours updating hundreds of people personally, writing individual messages as I texted them to make them feel like they're part of my journey, which they are. And remember, the opportunity cost of not being in the right place is absurd. A mentor once told me that every single year that he wasn't in the Bay Area, he lost out on hundreds of millions of potential dollars. You cannot deny power laws and the magic of network effects. I know what it's like to be an immigrant. My parents came to Canada with nothing to their names so that they could raise me there. I spent a lot of my early childhood hopping from basements to basements while they worked minimum wage jobs while raising me and pursuing an education at the University of Toronto. I love you, Mom and Dad. And since I was 17, every visit to the US was a step towards compounding relationships, learning, and building up the qualifications for an O1 visa. I worked diligently, and more than 2 years later, after many B1, B2 visits, and much anxiety entering the US, I finally have the O1 visa. And I'm here to help you navigate this and hopefully save you time, money, and energy and anxieties getting through this process. It was so hard, but you have to do what you have to do to earn your future here, to build your future for both yourself and for future generations. And from the bottom of my heart, you got this. Like my parents, you'll find a way to build a better future for yourself and your future family. Make your American dream happen. I love you, Mom and Dad, for working so hard and supporting me and instilling in me the values of hard work and persistence. I love you guys, and thank you, everyone. Good luck on getting to the US of A. I'll try and help you as much as I can. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the US. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Oh, and one more thing, I made some alien of extraordinary ability drip, as well as a GPT that can answer any of your immigration questions. So I just created my first GPT, which helps you figure out the right US visa for you and pathways to the US green card. So here I'm going to ask it to create an O1 visa case for me. I shared it at my personal website as well as my LinkedIn for context, and it's going to browse the internet through GPT's native Bing search. And now with the context, it's generating me a case. So it goes over prizes and awards, membership in distinguished organizations, publications, which I don't have any because I'm illiterate, major media, which it found different news features, judging of different competitions, contributions to a field, critical role, and high compensation. So it created a visa case, and you can ask it other questions, all related to US immigration. And you can try it out for yourself by going here.